Welcome to Growing Pains and Gains, the podcast where five lifelong friends navigating life across 3 states, Nebraska, Kansas, and Texas, share their real, raw, and often hilarious takes on everything under the sun. Join us as we embrace the growing pains and celebrate the gains that comes with life's journey.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Happy March.
Yeah.
Yes, happy March.
Crazy.
Yes. I'm Audra.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Catherine.
And I'm Maria. Alex is unable to join us this week because she is in Mexico celebrating her birthday. And she keeps sending us pictures to try to make us jealous.
And it's
It's
working.
It's working.
Yeah. I'm jealous of her. So today on our Hot Topics, we will be talking about Ruby Franke. Now, I'm sure you've all heard of her. If you haven't, I don't know what you've been listening to.
You've been living under a rock. Telling them.
You have been living under a rock. It is the most heartbreaking story I have ever seen. And I don't know a love of a child because I don't have a child. But oh my God, I know a love of a niece. I know a love of a nephew. And I just could
And a love of a sister.
And a love of a sister, yes. But these are little kids, Maria. So it is so sad. So Ruby was like an original like family vlogger back when that first started happening on YouTube. She was like one of the original ones, and she became very, very popular on her YouTube channel. And she basically referred to her kids as her employees.
They'd get $10.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
$10?
Yeah.
For a day or for a like
I don't
like did she think it was she was being cute calling them her employees? Like, you know how some people would be like my broke best friend and talking about their kids, which I don't, but some people say that.
No, I really think that she was being serious.
She really did think that they were her employees, and she made them work, and
But she put that on like her vlogs, or she put up like a whole front on her vlogs, and then that's what was going on behind the scenes.
Oh no, she didn't say it on her vlogs. She would that's what her kids said, and because her kids, her 2 oldest are in the documentary. So Hulu came out with a new documentary and her husband or her ex-husband and her 2 oldest are actually in the documentary talking about her.
Yes.
Okay, so keep going.
Okay, so she became very, very well known on the internet about her family and whatnot. Her son I think he got into high school and he began to act out. I think he got expelled a couple of times. And so she went to she found this therapist that was also Mormon. They are Mormon. They live in Utah, so they are Mormon faith. That is important to know. And then she found this therapist. Her last name was Hildebrandt. I can't think of her first name right now for some reason. Jody. Mm-hmm. And she had this radical way of teaching the kids, disciplining the kids. And Ruby,
that everybody thought, or like Ruby loved it?
Ruby loved it. Okay. Like she just thought, like, so they became best friends and she became a part of the channel. And then a horrible abuse started to happen with her kids. Where she would
Can I stop you real fast?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So they had this big family vlog. At one point they were making like $100,000 a month, like a ton off of YouTube. Just like we're going to, you guys should tune into our YouTube channel. But just kidding. So they were making all this money and like people really liked them, and the kids liked doing it at first because they were doing fun stuff and everything, but then it just became where the cameras were in their face all the time, and so the kids started hating it, and they hated having to act like they were happy when they weren't. And like she was like, because in this documentary they show like the uncut, like the stuff that she cut out, so she will be like, act happy, and he's like, I don't think I can right now. And you know,
so she was completely different. She's like this great, loving, fun mom on her YouTube channel, and then she's a monster behind the scenes.
Right. She takes Chad, the son's bedroom away, and he has to sleep on a beanbag for 7 months.
How old was he?
And he was in high school.
High school.
What's
And in one of the channels, she goes, "Yeah, when I discipline, I don't give my stuff back when they start acting good. I've probably never given anything back more than 6 months. Have I, Chad?" And he's like, "Yeah, I didn't even get my bedroom or my bed back. I slept on a beanbag for 7 months." And she was like, "Oh, I don't think our followers know that." And she like laughs, and they kind of laugh about it. Well, that's what got them canceled. And after that, like TikTok and YouTube, everybody just like attacked them. And then she goes, like, their following just completely dropped after that. They stopped making money, but she didn't care. This is when she goes to this is when Jody becomes part of the channel. This is all that I've gotten so far in the documentary. So
What?
Audra, you can go from here.
What is this on?
It's on
Hulu.
Netflix.
Hulu.
Or Hulu, sorry. Hulu,
Okay,
sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so then Jody comes in.
And then Jody comes in, and then she starts disciplining the kids in a horrible way. Like, she made her young, I think he was 7. I don't know how old he was. Go stand out on the hot cement for 7 hours.
What
Oh
the
my-
whole?
With
My
no shoes,
gosh.
with no shoes on, and that kind of stuff just kept on happening.
I
Well,
don't know if I
then
can watch it.
how she got caught was that they were at Jody Hildebrandt's house somewhere in the desert, and the kids were tied up.
What?
In a room. The kids were tied up in a room, and somehow the young son escaped and went to a neighbor's house, and he was caught on the door cam video saying, "Hey, can I ask for 2 favors?" No, actually 1 favor. "Can you please take me to the nearest police station?" And the guy comes out there, and he's an old man. He was like, "What's going on?" And he saw that he had duct tape on his legs that were basically to the bone.
Oh,
Like, he had no skin. It was basically to the bone. He was so skinny because he hasn't eaten any. And that's how this whole thing got started about the abuse of the children. And oh my God, it's so heartbreaking. So heartbreaking.
Did
And
she
so
do this to all of her kids, or just one? Or
the 2 youngest.
why?
Well, yeah, it's so sad.
Well, I think it's the 2 youngest. I don't know, because there's 2 older ones, and then there's the 2 young ones. So
Well, there's 6 kids.
yeah, so it might've, I don't know, because I just know that
Probably
there
all
was
of them,
2
but
in
yeah.
2 in the video. I know that at the time, her and her husband were separated, so maybe the other kids were with the husband, because then this is the most scandalous part about it. Then it comes to find out that they were having an affair.
Jody
Ruby and
and
Jody.
Ruby.
Oh.
And they're Mormon, so that's like a big no-no too.
Jody and the
Mhm.
husband,
No,
No.
Jody and
The 2
Judy.
women.
Ruby, sorry.
You
they
call
were
her Judy.
together. They were together.
Yeah,
they're
having an
sleeping together.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
think I could watch it.
It's
Yeah.
very heartbreaking. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't think I
think I
could watch it if
can
I had
either.
kids.
Yeah, I have watched the first 2 or first 1.5 episodes, and there's not like all that awful. I mean, she's bad in it, but it's not like that where they show all that.
Is she in
Right.
prison?
Yeah, her and Jody are both in prison
Oh.
for 30 years.
Good.
I hope they get what's
Mhm.
coming for them.
Yeah, that's
I hope
exactly
so
where
too.
she should be.
I hope so too. And I do also just want to apologize. I'm very flustered just because my computer wouldn't start up. So now I'm just flustered. So I do apologize if I'm.
And yes, but I'm sorry to all of our listeners and to the people who watch YouTube. You're not going to get to see her butt this time. I know last time that we actually had technical difficulties. You got to see her butt. So that's not the case this time. So hate to disappoint you all. But we did wait for like 15 minutes while Audra was having all these technical difficulties. And Alex is in Mexico on the beach, like crying, laughing because she saw the group text and all of Audra's technical difficulties and us trying to guide her through them. So we're just glad she's here.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Okay, well, everybody,
Okay.
so this week we are going to be discussing mindset and self care. And then at the end, we're going to play a little game called Two Truths and a Lie. So we'll get more into the game and kind of tell you how that works. But this week, I wanted to talk a little bit about mindset. It's something that I am very passionate about. So, first of all, I wanted to say kind of how I got so into mindset and really transformed my life. So, it started in 2020. Everybody knows what happened in 2020. So the whole pandemic, quarantine, lockdown, all of that. And I had a really tough time with it. I don't think at the time I even realized how hard it was for me, but it's like looking back, because I actually loved being in the office. I liked, working in the office. I was very social with all of my coworkers, and we did a lot of going out. And so it was just like a big change for me working from home. And I started drinking more than ever, which I think a lot of people did during COVID. And I
Mhm.
think there were a lot of
Oh,
issues,
yeah.
people just trying to like figure out how to navigate. I mean, it was,
Survive. Yeah.
yeah, people found out a lot about themselves, about their relationships. It was a tough time. And so I had a tough time with it. And I really like I said, I didn't realize at the time, but, kind of was in, like, not really a dark place, but just not a great place, and, Gary and I actually ended up breaking up that summer, and so I went through a few months of just, like, partying and drinking and even went to Cancun in the middle of the pandemic. I went there in July, kind of when things were opening back up, and, then I came back
We
home, and
were
I was
so
just
nervous, and you were like, "Don't worry about it. It is fine."
and it was fine.
You would get so mad when we were like you're like, "I don't wanna hear it."
I was going everywhere. I might piss a lot of people off about this, but, I went to Vegas, like, in was it May or June, you remember?
Yeah, you went
And
all over.
yeah, but so anyway, so I got back from Cancun, and I went, like, on a week-long bender, like, drinking every night, going out, partying,
Living
and
the
then at the
life.
end of it yeah, living the life, but not like, I was miserable,
Right.
and,
Right.
and I just finally, like, Sunday night after, like, this week of partying, I was like, "I feel miserable. I feel like shit physically, emotionally, mentally, I'm a wreck." Like I said, Gary and I had broken up. I didn't have any time to process it because I was just drinking,
Right.
and it was a huge just life change for me, and I felt at such a low point, and I was like, "I don't wanna feel like this anymore, like, I am making a change, I'm gonna stop drinking," and I did, and I've drank on and off since then. Now finally I'm at a place where I don't drink at all anymore, but that's for another episode. Chelsea and I will get into that
Mhm.
at another date. Um but so I quit drinking completely, and I was just like, "I'm gonna change my life around." Like, I don't like my life right now. I don't like where I'm at anyway. I had a great job, which I still have, the same job, love my job, but I just didn't like where I was at personally. So I went on this like mission that I was like obsessed with like self-improvement and self-love and really changing my mindset and thinking positive. And I didn't realize like how negative I had become. And so I just started doing all these changes to really just make myself a better person and really love the life that I was living. And it's been a process. I mean, it's been over 5 years. Well, no, 4.5 years, I guess. But I became just like obsessed with like becoming the best version of myself that I could be and really, just completely transforming my mindset. So, in 2022, I decided to take it a level farther and get some mind coach certifications. I went through like a 9-month process and have 5 mindset certifications. And at first, I was just really wanting to just like continue my self transformation. And then I was like, okay, hold on. This is so amazing. Like, if I can really change my life like this and love the person that I'm becoming, I want to help other women because I was out there living like half a life, is how I look at it. Like, I was, having fun, I was getting by, I was surviving, but I wasn't thriving. And now I feel like I'm thriving and I love the person that I am today. And looking back 5 years ago, I didn't love that person and I didn't have the
Mhm.
self love that I have now. And it's like, if you would have asked me at this point 5 years ago if I was proud of the person I am, I probably would have been like, I don't know, like, what do you mean? But if you ask me that today, like, absolutely, I love the person that I am, and I'm really proud of the person I've become. And a lot of that was because all of the mindset work that I put in. So, um, I actually asked ChatGPT. I wanted to see what ChatGPT had to say. And I was like, what would you do if you were trying to transform your mindset? And I wanted to see if it aligned with like what they had to say with the things that I've done. And it's like spot on. And so I'll kind of go through the
Crazy.
list. But it's hilarious because when I was looking through this, I'm like, I keep thinking like 5 years ago, I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have been like, no to none of these things. Like, I'm not doing any of these things. And now I can say I do every single one of them. So I'll kind of share them, and then you guys can give me your thoughts on if this is something you do or don't do. So the first one is reprogramming your thoughts. And this is something that I went really big on when I first got into mindset. And so this is one thing I'm huge on. Chelsea, I've heard you say it, no negative self-talk. Like, we don't have time for that. I just told Audra last night she was negative self-talking herself, and she looked freaking beautiful and amazing. So no negative self-talk. And so, people do it all the time and don't even realize. Like, you do something and be like, oh, that was stupid. Like, oh, I'm so stupid. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's like, you wouldn't talk to the people you love like that. Oh, you're so stupid. Why did you do that? That was so stupid.
Right.
So why would
Yeah.
you talk to yourself
Right.
like that? And then identifying limiting beliefs. So I used to have a lot of limiting beliefs, and thinking like, oh, I
Like
could never
hint-
do that.
yeah.
I
was gonna.
could never make that much money. I could never, speak publicly. I could never do,
Right.
so many
Okay.
things. What do you have one, Maria? What's your limiting belief?
No. I was gonna ask you to give some example. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people do it all the time. Like, oh, I could never do that. That would never be me. Great things never happen to me. They always happen to other people. And those are huge limiting beliefs. And so part of reprogramming your thoughts are identifying those limiting beliefs and challenging them, and then changing them. Chelsea, are you over there having limiting beliefs?
Well, my limiting belief was that I would never be able to do this because I don't.
And look at you now.
Yeah. Well, look at me now. I'm thriving.
You are, girl. You are.
Yes.
No, but seriously, you would have never thought, like, pictured yourself doing this, and you get on here every
when
week
Maria
and
said
you
that
do
we
it great.
should do it, I was like, okay, yeah, we won't.
thing.
See, limiting belief and changing that.
I know.
So the second one is expanding your knowledge. I also went crazy on that one. So some examples of expanding your knowledge are really reading a lot of books on self-development, self-help, mindset. And I went crazy on the books. I have this huge stack over here, which I'm not going to show them all to you guys, but I have a few
Break your
favorites.
arm.
What did you say?
This is
He
all
said,
I
'cause it
can
break
fit
her
in my
arm.
hands, but I have a whole bookshelf full of books. So I was just I wanted to learn as much as I could. And I really got into the law of attraction huge, which is a huge part of changing your thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if you have negative thoughts, you're going to keep attracting negative things. If
Mhm.
you keep thinking, I can't have that, that wouldn't happen to me, well, then you're not going to get it. And so I learned about the law of attraction and started really, really, really switching the way that I think, the way that I speak. And if you sit there and think about something negative, that's what you're going to attract. And you can't think about something and think
Right.
oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. That's not the way the law of attraction works, because you're thinking about whatever that is. You're going to attract it, even if you're saying, I don't want it, because you're sitting there thinking about whatever that item may be. You're still attracting to it. So that's something I got super into, listening to podcasts, books that I've talked about before. I love listening to self-help books, self-development. Number 3, changing your environment. So that can be who you surround yourself with, which I did a little bit of that. You guys are still, have been my friends forever and still
We
are.
made
But
the cut.
almost everybody made the cut. No, I just realized when I changed my life, there were some people, and not many in my life, that were more of party and going out friends. And then there's
Yeah.
the people who are lifelong friends, and it wasn't that I cut anybody out. I just realized, when I made the change in my lifestyle, some people just automatically we became a little more distant.
Right.
Yeah.
Limiting exposure to negativity. Now, you all know how I feel about this. I was just talking about Facebook today and having to delete Facebook. I do not like watching the news, and I would rather be ignorant all day and not know what's going on. My mom is probably so disappointed in me right now, but I don't watch the news, and I prefer not to know what's going on than have that negativity coming in, stressing me out, disturbing my peace, because that's all it does. And I can't do it anymore. And that was one big commitment I made in 2020. I stopped following any accounts on social media that made me feel any type of negative feelings or anxiety. Any of those, if you read through the comments and it's people talking terrible and talking crazy to each other, I'm unfollow. So all the celebrity gossip, I stopped doing that. And just really being mindful of what you allow into your space. Practicing self-discipline. So that is one that is a continual thing for me. So I've talked about
I need help with that one.
It's tough.
I mean, all of them, but especially that one.
I mean, self-discipline is in so many areas. I've talked about wanting to be more of a morning person. So that's what I'm currently working on. I've gotten to wake up 30 minutes earlier, and I'm trying to get a little bit farther. But that one's hard. And it's my self-discipline with my sweet tooth. That's something
So hard.
You and your
Discipline.
You and your night munchies. You always win it at night, don't you?
And Yeah, and sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night and like go in the pantry or yeah.
Sometimes.
You know what? I don't do as much anymore because I sleep so great now. I don't wake up as much in the
Yeah.
middle of the night.
Oh, good.
That's great.
Yeah, no, I just get it all in before I go to bed. But I'm trying to, I really want to work on it more because like I always say, physical health and mental health go hand in hand. And all the added sugar is so bad for you. And so that's something I'm really working on with the self-discipline. Um, ooh, this is a good one. Shifting from a fixed to a growth mindset. Do you all know what that means? So I used to have the total fixed
You were
mindset.
just fine where you were at.
Just totally content, totally
Mhm.
comfortable.
That's my husband.
Oh, you're saying he has a fixed mindset?
I think that's
No.
me.
Well,
No, like,
it was me for years.
I would just say, like, I guess I'm not gonna say fixed mindset because he has done amazing in his career and like keeps growing, but more like he'd be fine. He would have been fine living in our 2-bedroom house as a family of 5 with the teeniest rooms. He'd been fine still driving like his Oldsmobile or my beat up Honda. Like he would still think we could drive that today. Like, but that's, I guess, not necessarily a fixed mindset. Like he wants more for the boys. Like he has them determine like we need to go whatever they're doing, like baseball. Like Beckett, you got to get out and start hitting. Like Beckett wants to, but not finding that. You know what? I guess maybe that's not fixed mindset. Maybe
Well,
that's just
no,
like
it kind of is, and I understand what you're saying, and that was me for a long time just because I didn't wanna be in uncomfortable situations, like, I didn't want
Mhm, yeah.
to, do things that were
Right.
uncomfortable, and I didn't now I do it all the time, I do things that are uncomfortable all the time, posting on social media on my business account, I don't care anymore, but at first I was like, what are people gonna think of me? When you
Yeah.
reach the point that you can stop caring what people think of you, it is the most freeing feeling, and I post and I don't give an F, Maria. I
I'm
don't care.
trying.
I don't care. I don't care anymore. And
I-
it took me a long time to get there. I said F. I edited it for Maria because she said we got to keep it clean last week when I
Yeah.
said
I
no,
think
but I
one
don't
of
care.
my favorite sayings is other people's opinions of you is none of your business.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's
And
really good.
I really, really like that saying, and I have to remind myself that all the time because it does not matter what other people think about me. It's none of my business what other people think about me. I don't need to know it.
and
No.
Right.
I
I
will
think
say,
that
like,
too.
in a small town, it is really hard. Like,
Yeah.
in
No,
a small town,
totally.
because
And people talk.
somebody's always going to have an opinion, regardless. Like,
And then a lot of
and-
times it gets back to you
Let
because
them.
people talk.
yep, I know,
Let
I know.
them.
I'm trying to let them, but it is hard. It is. Or like as a teacher, and not like to worry about like what the parents are like if I've had to
Yeah.
relay a negative
Yeah.
message or something. Like it is hard to like, oh, what are they going to go and say that now that I had to tell them this? Or, I don't know. Just
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can totally see that. And I think it would be harder in a small town. For me it's easier. We live in a big city and
right.
it's whatever. But it took me a long time to get to that point where I can really be like, I don't care. Like I'm not doing this for everybody else. I'm doing this for me and for my family. And I know my
Right.
family supports me and I know they think I'm freaking awesome. So what about everybody else? I really don't care. And it took me so long to get to that point, but it is literally the most freeing feeling, like when you can let go of that and just know that their opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
That is so true.
That
and
is
something that I
yes,
really
and that is
work
hard
on.
because I struggle with that all the time because I do care what other people think about and like I worry about how I come across to people or what I say to people and like I'll say something and may say it and it sounds a lot harsher than what I mean about it and then I worry about it all day long.
Or
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I do that. Or like, I hope they didn't take it that way. I
That
hope
way,
they know that
exactly.
like I didn't like.
Yeah, I didn't mean
Yeah.
it that way and I hope they didn't take it that way, but why am I worried about it?
Or I
And
hope
it
they
will
heard me
consume
correctly. It wasn't anything negative. It wasn't supposed to be negative. Or yeah.
And it'll consume me all
that's
day.
how the downward spiral begins.
Yeah, that's how it
Mhm.
begins. But you can also say something so innocently and
Somebody's gonna take
not
it the
think
wrong way.
anything of it, and then they
Yeah.
take it wrong. So
Yeah.
You just can't worry about that when it
you
comes down
can't
to
worry.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what? It's also helped me because I have like the best example right by me every single day of somebody who doesn't care what other people think, and that's Gary. And he is unapologetically himself. And he's, you know, he's going to live his life and he's not going to, worried about what other people are thinking about him or caring if he offended somebody, and he's not offensive, you know what I mean? But he's just
Right.
he doesn't just that's just not the way he lives his life. Like, so that's helped me too, having that in a partner. But it's because he used to say that all the time, like, why do you care what other people? Why are you worried about what they think?
Right.
Like, who cares? And I've just more recently, like in the last year or so, gosh, probably last 6 months, really gotten to a place where I realized, like, I don't really care what people think anymore. Like, it's
That's
so
so
much
great,
better.
Catherine.
Mhm.
That's it took a lot of work, so let me say that.
I feel like, and like also like, I find myself doing that to my boys, and that's not what I want. Like last night or yesterday, my oldest was getting ready. He's a student manager for basketball, and they were headed on the bus to go to district playoffs, and or not district playoffs. Sorry, it was the district final game to go on to the state. Sorry, and I did not want him to wear his like regular tennis shoes. I wanted him to wear like his nicer like
Oh,
like with his
Maria.
jeans. Yeah.
Maria,
And I'm
let
like,
them.
it looks better with your dunks. And he's like, I don't care. I'm like,
He wanted
"Fine,
to wear
then
what
look
he wanted to
sloppy.
wear."
Then just look sloppy. And then afterwards, I'm like, that was not nice. So then I told him like how great he looked. And he goes, yeah, except for my shoes. I'm
Oh.
like, they look good, buddy. But I need to stop that.
Yes,
Or like
because you don't want to
he'll
project
always
that off
come in.
onto him.
No. And he'll always come in my room at over his lunch hour, and I love it. And the first thing I do is roll up your shorts one time so they're not too long, or you need lotion on your legs. And I have to stop that because he doesn't care. He does
No,
not care. And
But the fact that you're
he-
aware of that is, it's a big thing, having that self-awareness. So now you
okay,
know,
so you think I'm
and now
okay?
we've talked about it. No, I think you should
No, you
stop
need to
doing
stop.
it.
No, you need to stop doing it.
Oh,
But I'm
God,
proud of you
okay.
for having that self-awareness that you should stop.
Okay.
And so
Okay,
now that
yes.
we've talked about it, now you'll start catching yourself more. And so just make the intention to change, because you want him to be just comfortable with who he is.
I do, and I want him
Comes
to
in and he's got like a
be.
huge stain on his butt that he
Yes.
doesn't know about, tell
And
him.
he
But
really is like he just doesn't care. He is unapologetically who he is, and I love that. And he
And
does
that's a
not like
great thing,
ever have
yeah.
any insecurities really, like other than like when it's time
Yep.
for a test, and then he's like
Well,
freaking
don't.
out.
Yeah.
And
And you
so
don't
I
want him
don't-
to start.
I don't want to
Yeah.
break that.
Yeah, no.
I think that's why why God didn't bless me with a little girl,
Yeah.
because
You
it
definitely
would have
get those
been.
boys ready like little girls, though.
Oh,
The other
I
night she
know.
was doing their hair, getting them all ready, getting them so
Gotta get-
cute for the games.
My youngest Jagger. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you their names. I don't care. He.
Oh, I've been saying names.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Jagger, he always calls it handsome hair.
Oh.
When am I gonna get my handsome hair? Every morning. I need my handsome hair.
So cute.
That is cute. Well, one thing I was thinking about today when I took my walk, that I wanted to talk about is never saying that you're having a bad day. Like, oh, I'm just having a bad day, or I'm just in a bad mood.
Mm.
And that's something I stopped doing. And that was one of the biggest game changers for me. I no longer accept that. And if I feel like inside, like I feel like, oh, I'm kind of having a bad day, then I stop immediately what I'm doing. And like, I'll just take 10 minutes. It doesn't take long. And I'll either just stop and meditate, or I'll go outside if the weather's nice and go for a walk and just think positive thoughts and just walk around until I feel good again. And it literally only takes 10 minutes to change the rest of your day. And it's like, even if I have to step aside from work, I would rather take those 10 minutes and come back and be productive and be feeling great and have a
Right.
wonderful day
Just
than
to have
accept
a-
the fact that I'm just in a bad mood, or I'm just having a bad day, and just accept that. And then you're speaking it into existence, and that's again what starts the downward spiral of just really having a terrible day.
Absolutely. And then
Yes.
also to put it into another perspective, like I always think about when I'm having a bad day, how there are some people out there that would beg to have the kind of bad day that I'm having.
Yeah.
Right.
And that changes everything. Like I talk to my mom every day, and I'll tell her about my problems, and she'll be like, Audra, there's people out there that wish they could have your problems. Your problems
Right.
are nothing.
It's so
So
true.
remember that.
Gary says if like everybody was standing in a room and threw their problems on the ground, and then it was time to pick them back up, people would be pushing you out of the way to try to pick up your problems and leave theirs behind.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One thing that
unless you
we
run out of
practice-
gas.
Oh.
2025.
Oh, Maria, let's hear about that.
It was a bad day. Tuesday was not a good day.
It was a bad day
I-
because you didn't get gas.
because I didn't get gas. I spilled my coffee all over my desk. Then I spilled my Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke on the cashier and all over that. And then I went, so after my
And then you
hair,
forgot to get gas at the gas station that you got
Yeah,
your
so I
pop
was
at.
like, so you spilled your Diet Coke on the cashier where you
Yep.
didn't get gas?
and right in front of our Mexican restaurant downtown, I ran out of gas.
David,
no
you
excuse.
listening to this? Some things never change. Maria used to run out of gas in high school all the time.
I mean, that was a little more understandable because the cars were older back then and it didn't have like a million warnings like you need to get gas, you need to get gas.
How
Like,
long you
and-
have to get, yeah.
and
Oh, it
Maria
probably
has a
did
brand new
still.
car that almost probably talks to her like it's time to pull over and get gas now. And she's just still driving along.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Listening to her seatbelt ding.
Well,
Listening to my seatbelt ding,
maybe
yes.
when you would have spilled your coffee, if you would have taken 10 minutes to pause and reboot your day, girlfriend, maybe
It would have been
gone
better. I
Yes.
know.
Yes.
I know.
And then also, Maria, this is another saying I'm going to throw out there. Poor planning on your behalf does not constitute emergency on mine.
No.
Does that make sense?
Oh, that was good, Audra. Where'd you get
Yes. Who told you that?
Someone always says that at work, and I always
That's
think
good.
about it. Poor planning on my part doesn't constitute emergency on mine.
My
So
poor
I-
husband.
Yes,
Yes,
Maria.
you're
It
always
used to be poor
constituting
dad,
emergency.
and now it's my poor husband. I like called him frantically. I don't know what's wrong. I think either the Suburban, something's wrong with the transmission, or I ran out of gas. And
Sure enough, it was
he's like,
gas.
well, I'm going to go with the gas.
You ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So one more thing I want to add because I think everybody needs to start doing this if you're not. And then I want to hear what your favorite thing is for self-care because we all need to take time for ourselves. And Audra, I know you're not a mom, but you have a demanding job that you work all the time. So we all need self-care time. But first, one thing I want to say, if you all are not doing this now, you need to start doing it, is make a vision board. And I have a vision board in my office, and then I also have like an online one that I've created on my laptop that I look at. And every morning I wake up and I look about it and I look at it and think about everything that I want, everything that I'm manifesting, everything that I want to come to light. And I just think about that for a few minutes. And not only am I manifesting the life that I want, it just makes you feel so good when you think about all the things you're working towards and all of your goals and just seeing them come true. And then I have a list of affirmations and I literally say them out loud in my office in front of my computer. And I feel so good. It takes me like 10 minutes to do. And then that's how I start my day out. And I just feel so great. And I feel so like I'm just starting on a positive note. I'm
Like,
feeling good. My mood is lifted. And some people like feel silly saying that stuff out loud. I don't say it out loud. Say it like you mean it. And Mel Robbins says, give yourself a high five in the mirror. And I do it. And I love it. And sometimes
Okay, I have a question
got
real
this.
fast.
Yeah.
What's on your
So-
vision board?
Okay, well, can I ask a question real fast? So,
I thought that's what you're going to ask.
no.
not wrong.
What is the growth mindset and the fixed mindset? Like, what if I'm just happy like with the way that our life is right now?
Then you have a fixed mindset.
But I also think that's interchangeable. I think every day can change. That couldn't it?
Well, so the real difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset is a fixed mindset is if you're just comfortable and just content where you are and you don't really want more out of life. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. It's like I said, I had a fixed mindset for a very long time, but now, and you can have different phases in your life where sometimes you just need to pause and you're just okay with where you're at. Right now I'm in a growth mindset. Like I want more and I have a lot of goals that I'm trying to accomplish and I just don't have, just room to be comfortable. Like I don't want to be comfortable right now. I want to be uncomfortable so I can accomplish these goals and things that I'm working toward. So that's really a growth mindset. But I was, in a lot of years, or especially like, for example, Audra, what you said, like it can change. When I had my babies, when you're pregnant or when you have a newborn, like you're not going to be most people anyway, not going to be at a growth mindset at that point. You're going to be point everything into your pregnancy. I mean, that's like the hardest thing. You're growing a human, a whole nervous system, inside your body. Like you're not going to be in a growth mindset at that time. So just because you're in a fixed mindset doesn't mean you can't transition into a growth mindset. And just because you have a growth mindset doesn't mean that there won't be a time in your life where you kind of settle back into a fixed mindset.
And it doesn't even necessarily have to be like career oriented or financially oriented. Like
It can be just
it could be like
self-development.
right. Like
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I I don't want to continue feeling the way I'm feeling, so I'm gonna
Okay. Yeah.
run a marathon or yeah.
Okay, because I'm thinking like a bigger house. Like I'm happy with.
No, it
Like,
doesn't.
No,
No, it's
no,
not about
no.
that. No,
Okay.
it's not about
No.
that. It's just about wanting more for
Sorry.
yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
When I
Okay.
said that about Derek, like, and I don't mean that like he's amazing. He like is so supportive, but
Don't
he
be
is
spiraling.
so
Now you're gonna be
content.
worrying all night.
I
It's
know.
fine. Yeah.
He is so content, but we even each other out, and that would be more for things, not like he wants
Right.
better
Yeah.
for himself. Like I didn't
Yeah.
mean it.
Yeah, he gets out there and runs in the snow.
He does. He does. He doesn't care if it's 0 degrees out.
So self-care, I say it all the time. I was like, went to pick Cinco and Nova up the other day and the sun was shining and I was like preaching to them about how physical exercise is for your mental health. Like that is a form of self-care for me is exercise. And especially when the sun's out, like there is nothing that feels better than walking outside in the
I
sun and it just feels so good. And that is a huge form of self-care to me, for me. And so taking that time out of my day to make sure that I get my exercise in is not just for me physically, like it's mostly for me mentally is why I
Yeah.
prioritize it. Another form of self-care, it's like I talked about last time, my vibration plate that I have in my office that I'll stand on and do my manifestation or meditation time. Meditation, I was just talking to you all about it earlier. Huge form of self-care and just really being able to like clear your mind and just we have so much that goes on in our minds as, businesswomen and moms
Mhm.
and whatever role it is that you're playing, we're busy. We have busy minds. And so taking that time to still your mind is a huge form of self-care. And then of course taking a hot bath at the end of the night. Everybody knows I love my baths.
Yes.
What about you
we
guys? What do
do.
you do for self-care?
I would say I do like a hot bath until my dog comes in and starts drinking the bath water. I'm
Wait,
like,
why is your
get
dog? Your
out.
dog's hating on all your self-care.
Always.
You told us about the cord, the vibration plate cord.
Yes. Yes, she wants it all about her. I would definitely bath, and we listen and we don't judge, but I love a good cruise around town with just
No.
music
Yeah.
and
Yes.
nobody else in the car, just me. And sometimes, like over my lunch hour at school, like I'll leave and I'll just
Run out of gas. You drive until you run out of gas.
But that's your you time, and that's important, and that is
Yeah.
self-care. Making time for yourself to do what you want to do, that is self-care. What do you do, Chelsea, Audra? Audra, I know your workouts. That's a form of self-care. What else do you do?
It sure is. My workouts is a big, big thing. Now I'm finally seeing the benefit of the mental health side.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that I would ever see it, but I do see it. Like I haven't gone to work out since Wednesday, and I hate it. Like cuz now I just don't feel good about myself or like my mental health isn't there.
Yeah.
But the other part of self-care that I do is I wake up earlier than what I need to get up and I just lay in bed. Now I can lay in bed and just lay there and not really think about much, but just relaxing because that's probably the only time of the day where I don't have to think about much.
Mhm.
And so I just lay there or I'll get on my phone, watch TikTok sometimes because sometimes it's really good just to mindlessly scroll to get my mind off of other things. Um, or just have a nice hot cup of coffee on my couch without
I
the
love
TV
that.
on
Yeah.
and just sit there and drink it before I have to start getting ready. That's really my two main things that I do.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
love
thing.
that.
There's no right or wrong for self-care. It's about you and making time for yourself.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It
Come
is
on,
so
Chelsea.
enjoyable.
What do you do?
I like to take my baths at night. I
Yeah.
love sitting in the bathtub forever and ever, really hot.
I do too. And just
And
sit there until the water goes cold.
yeah, and then I turn it back on.
Mhm.
And then I also, well, when the weather's nice, I like to go for walks, but I cannot say that I have been doing that recently. Well, I guess
Well,
the
it's
weather
not
hasn't.
fun when the weather's cold.
No, it's so awful. But
Yeah.
this summer, I was loving going on walks like several times a day. That's about it. Are we ready for
that's good.
truths, and a lie?
Yeah, here
Yes.
we go. 3 truths and a lie. I'm gonna start it out.
Okay, so tell everybody. I think most people know what this
I
is.
think so
but
too. So I'm gonna share 2 truths and then 1 lie, and everybody has to guess what the lie is. And I will say, like, when we said that we were going to do this, we were trying to decide, like, tried to come up with something that, like, each of us wouldn't know. And I feel like we know everything. It was, like, almost impossible. And I was having my husband help me. And he's like, it's just so hard because I feel like you guys know everything about each other. So, hopefully not. Hopefully you guys don't know this one. Or, yeah, know my lie. I love to fly. I like sauerkraut. What, Chelsea?
Go ahead.
I like
Go ahead.
sauerkraut, and I had a breast reduction.
You love to fly is the lie.
A lie. Definitely your
Mhm.
lie.
Yes.
You go,
I
what, Chelsea?
do not like to fly. And like we're planning a trip for Florida this summer, and I'm already thinking about flying, and I just don't like it. And it was fine until when we flew to Hawaii and Cassidy was 6 weeks old. And
Oh, that's a
we
long
gave
flight.
we gave Beckett, he was 2.5, and we gave him Dramamine, and it had the opposite effect.
Oh, jeez.
He was up for like the entire flight. He was up for 22 hours straight. It was
Oh.
awful. Awful. And
Mm.
flying over the ocean, I just did not like it. And then after that, I'm just terrified of flying. And I can't relax. And one time I was flying to Texas, and like there was bad turbulence, and it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I've got to have a beer or something. Like I am so anxious. And I kept asking the poor guy next to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, do you think it's going to wreck? Do you think we're going to crash? And I asked the flight attendant if I could have a beer because I was so nervous. And she goes, yes, honey. And it's on us because she
Aw.
felt so bad.
Then she brings you a shot too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
you
here's
guys make
mine.
that fast.
Okay, Chelsea, give it to us.
Okay. I've made 1 loaf of bread today. I started Couch to 5K today, and every night I sleep with my headphones in and listen to podcasts about sister wives.
You started the 5K?
I'm going to say you've made 1 loaf of bread.
Yeah, I was going to go with the loaf of bread too.
I made 2 loaves of bread.
I knew it was going to be something like
Oh,
that.
damn it.
I'm really
But
excited for
that
you
was
starting
rude of
Couch
me
to
to say
5K.
Hold
that.
on.
That was rude of me. Sorry, Chelsea.
Hold
You're
on.
so rude.
You
What's up?
said that you listen to a podcast about sister wives?
Yeah, girl.
Lucas, she's trying to tell you something.
Oh, no.
Like the sister
show.
wives on TV?
Yeah.
Why? What's Cody up to these days?
Well, Cody doesn't have any sister wives now. He's a monogamous now. They all left him except for one.
Right, the latest one, the one that came last, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is he happy or is he sad? Is he trying to go out and get more?
He's not trying to go out and get more. He loves Robin. But yeah.
I have no
But,
idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, there's lots of drama. It's good. I mean, the podcasts are funny. I like the podcasts.
I like
Who's
Cody's
next?
hair.
Me.
Who wants
I
to go
like-
next?
I like Cody's hair.
Catherine. Catherine's going next.
Hold
Okay.
on. I like Cody's hair. Is that a truth or a lie?
That's a truth.
Definitely a truth.
Okay, so mine are I have 5 nieces and nephews. I almost became a teacher, and I love sand volleyball.
I almost became a teacher.
Any
Yeah,
other
I say
guesses?
absolutely not.
No,
It's
you
a
guys-
lie.
I almost did when I was working at Red Lobster and I moved to Dallas. Maria's face right now. Yeah, I know. I was
Kindergarten
working at Red
teacher?
Lobster and no, a high school teacher in Dallas ISD.
Oh, you would have been a good high school teacher.
You would have been.
Do you guys know much about Dallas ISD? Yeah. So I wanted any job but being a manager at Red Lobster. And so I started applying for everything. And they have the program where you can, I don't have a teaching license. But
You can go and work and-
yeah, and get like on the job training. You have to have a bachelor's degree, which I obviously had. And I got accepted into the program and was really
Oh my goodness, you never told us this.
I just
Hipster.
told Gary the other day and he was like so shocked. But yeah, and I got accepted in the program and I was going to start. And then I got interviewed with Pinnacle and got the job offer. And the rest is history.
Wow.
So,
So
yeah.
then what's the lie? You have 5 nieces and nephews?
No, I do. I hate sand volleyball. Sand
Oh, okay.
volleyball sucks.
Amen. I hate it too.
Yes, Audra, when
Audrey,
you
did
told
you
us-
quit?
Hell yeah. I went once and I was done
I
with
hate it because trying to jump off that
It's
sand is not.
hard.
It's so hard. It's not like playing
So
on a
hard.
court. It's
No,
completely
I
different than
hated
regular
it.
volleyball.
Yeah, it's so amazing to watch those sand volleyball players play and like how high they get. You know,
Yeah, well,
like
I can't do
like
that.
the Olympic ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I hated it.
So
That's
see,
what Audra
I
thought
had
she
a
was
good
gonna
one.
be
I knew
doing
you guys
after.
weren't going to guess
That was
it.
good. That was good. I think we need to do this for our listeners next or another time, and they have to guess the lie. Like, come up with different ones. And
Oh, and then not say it on there, like not say
Yeah.
it on this episode, and then
we can say our 2
Mm.
truths and a lie, but they not say the lie.
So make them guess on like our Instagram
Mhm.
page or something.
And maybe
so
give
if
a
you're-
little, yeah.
If you're not following us on Instagram, go follow. It is GPAG _ the podcast. So that's as in Growing Pains and Gains, GPAG _ the podcast. Follow us on Instagram and you can play along the next time we do it. Okay, Audra, I can't wait for yours.
All right. So I love to cook and I meal prep religiously. I love a good airport layover and I hate milk.
Oh my goodness. You do not meal prep religiously.
Yeah, that's what I
You
was
are
going to
right.
say.
You are right. I sure don't. I don't ever cook.
Why
either.
in the world do you love a good layover? I hate a layover.
Because she
I
loves
don't
her. She
know.
loves an airport beer. She
I
loves
love
an
airport beer. I love it. I don't know. I just do. I just like
Because
I like a layover.
You don't have any kids that are like they're like
Well, I get too
Harassed.
antsy. I get too antsy on the planes for too long. Like,
Like
45
take you
minutes.
a little
is the max I can be
breaky
on a
break
plane
in
for.
between flights.
Yeah. I get too antsy.
This was fun. All right, let's go, guys. Pains and gains for the week. Start us off, Audra.
My pain for this week is I couldn't think of one. I was like, my week was actually really, really good
That's a great problem to have.
until I got a pimple on top of my roof with my mouth, and I Googled it. And so I've been needing a root canal for like the past 2 years. Like I've been needing it, but I never think about it because it doesn't hurt. It has never hurt me.
So
And
you
so I-
just thought maybe it'll go away or what?
No, I just they told me I need it done, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll make an appointment, I'll do it, and then I never do because it just never bothers me. Well, on Friday, I got a pimple on top of my roof of my mouth, and I text Chelsea, our
dental
dentist of the group.
hygienist.
No, the dentist of the group.
Okay.
And asked her, I said, do you think it's an abscess? And she was like, yeah, probably so. So I'm freaking out about
That's
that.
exactly
because-
what it is.
That's not a pimple.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm freaking out about it because
that is
it
a
doesn't-
literal pain of the week. It's about to be anyway if it's not
Yeah.
yet.
Yes, it doesn't hurt, and that's the thing. It doesn't hurt, and so now I'm freaking out about it messing up my surgery. I
Oh,
can't worry
no.
about that.
It won't.
Okay, it's
Remember,
not. Yeah, it's
positive
not.
Hey.
thoughts.
No, I tried to start saying this the other day, or not the other day, earlier when we were talking. So, about like the positive self-talk. So when anything like starts going wrong or all throughout the day, you say everything just always works out for me. So you have to tell yourself that. So, and me and my 20-year-old, we always say it like when their car breaks down or when their car broke down and we couldn't find one, we're like, oh, everything just always works out for us. And sure enough, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Got it.
That's one of my
You're
favorite
right.
affirmations. Everything
Mhm.
always works out in my
Like that.
favor.
Yes. So you got to say it, but if you say it, you're gonna see everything does always just work out for you. So you got to say it over and over
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
It's
That's
fun.
a gain for the
Hey,
week.
I
is,
like
is
it. I
learning
like
that,
it.
Audra. Okay, what's your
Yeah.
gain?
Okay, yeah. What's your
My
gain?
gain for this week is I went to gala last night, and it was
You looked beautiful, Audra.
You look so good.
so pretty.
it
I
was
love your
it was
dress too.
fun, and it was such a nice it was so nice to be able to go get ready. Like I got a spray tan, I got my hair and makeup done, and it was so nice. I haven't done that in forever, and it was
I
fun.
want to do that. That's
Self-care.
fun.
Self-care.
You look so
Yes,
pretty.
it was
You
fun.
did
Mhm.
look so pretty, Audra.
Thank you. All right, who's next?
Chelsea.
Oh, don't got my
Yes.
alphabet in order this
I
time.
know. Don't worry, guys. I got it.
Okay, so my pain for the week was I also had a good week, so I had to think back to like last Monday. I was just, Catherine, you're going to hate this, but I was bone tired.
Just so everybody knows, I hate the word goodies you found out last week. I also
And
hate
bone
I
tired.
hate the phrase bone tired.
No, but I was just so tired after Maria picked me up after my bedtime to drive to Coffeyville on Thursday and had me up, got up early on Friday. Then they had me out till 1:15, or I didn't go to sleep till after 1 on Friday. I was just so tired, and I didn't drink any alcohol. I can't imagine if I had drank alcohol how
Right.
I would have felt, but I'm 100 now, and that's my gain. I've had a lot of energy this week, and we've gotten a lot done. We cleaned out our garage, I cleaned my house. It is just I am
Awesome.
just getting all kinds of stuff done, and it feels good. Oh,
And the
and I started
weather
Couch
in
to 5K today, and
awesome.
that feels good too.
That does feel
That
good.
does. That does feel good. And the sun. The sun's
Audrey,
shining.
you like
The
that?
weather.
I feel bad for guessing that was your lie.
Well, that's why I said it. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Catherine, what are yours?
So I also had a really great week this week. It was my birthday week. So I really didn't have a lot of pains except for Gary started feeling bad on Friday and has been kind of sick over the weekend. But he's been handling it great. We even went to the park yesterday, and
Oh,
so
he
he's
doesn't have
just,
a man
He is
cold?
trooper.
no, he doesn't get man colds. Like he's been pretty sick, and he just keeps powering through. So that was a pain more so. I just feel bad for him. But my gain is that Wednesday was my birthday, and I had the best birthday ever. And I planned out the best day for myself. And I had like a massage and did a facial treatment and took a walk. The sun was shining. Like it was a really, really beautiful day. And I took PTO from work Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I only had a 2-day work week, which
Whoop, whoop.
another great gain. But it was honestly I think it's the best birthday I ever had. That I've
Oh,
ever
that's
had.
so good.
Aw.
Especially as an adult, kid birthdays don't count. But I
Right,
think as an
right.
adult, it's the best birthday that I've ever had. And I just really made sure it was a great day for myself. And then Gary cooked dinner for me, and we had a really nice dinner with sea bass, and they got a cake for me and all of that. So it was like the best birthday that I've ever had, and it
Oh,
felt
I
so
love it.
good. And then I was thinking, speaking about going back, so in 2020, we went to Jamaica for my birthday, and you would think, well, that would be a better birthday than staying in Dallas, but it wasn't because I was in a completely different place then. And just to think that I could just have a birthday just doing things I love
Feeling
right here.
good.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah. So it was awesome. That was my
Oh,
game.
I love it.
Great
Yeah, that was
birthday.
a good
You deserve
week.
it too.
Thank you. What about you,
Yes.
Maria?
I'm gonna say my pain would be that my parents left today. It's
Oh,
always hard to see them leave.
Yeah.
But I have several gains. I did feel really good this week too, and the weather was just absolutely
The
amazing.
weather, it's
The
so
weather
Yeah,
was
so gorgeous.
amazing, and the sun was out, and my mom was here, and she, like every day, she made our bed. She had the laundry done. She had another pain is our dryer quit on us. But
oh,
everything always works out for us, and we
everything does.
were able to find a dryer in stock, and so we got that picked up, and then they'll deliver the washer and the pedestals later. But so we didn't have to go without it for too long. But back to my gains. It was just so nice to have my mom here. And then our high school girls, they made history this week. First time ever making it to girls' state basketball.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
we only have a 2-day week this week, Monday and
Oh,
Tuesday.
wow.
And then we'll head to state on Wednesday to watch our Alma Cards. And then my niece also made it to state, Southwest Rough Riders. So it's
Ooh,
gonna
Rough
get big.
Riders.
Thank you for that, Chelsea.
That was our Roosevelt Middle School.
Yeah, we were the Rough
Yeah.
Riders in
Yeah.
middle school when we were cheerleaders.
Yeah. My mom, when we went to the basketball game on Friday night, my dad had asked if that, like, there's flags in the gym and it's all of in our conference, and my mom asked which one was my niece's, and so I told her, and she's like, it used to be the Rough Riders too.
Aw.
It was a great week.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad you were able to spend time with your parents.
Oh, it was so
Yes.
I know that Mama loved it too.
good. We all did love it. It was
Mhm.
great. It's just
Now I get her.
uh,
Now I get her.
Now she's yours.
Yes, now she's mine.
she's
Sweet.
mine.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for the podcast you didn't know you needed. Now you know. So we hope you'll join us next week on Growing Pains and Gains, where we'll be discussing Enneagrams. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.